Aloha, guys. Loa Apine with the Scrappy Podcast. I got Alan Valdez over here. What's up,
Yes, sir.
Alan?
How you, bro?
Doing good, bro.
Just chilling today and trying to do my first podcast. Maybe second. On the first, though, I think. First time that you asked me to tell a story about myself.
Yeah.
Usually I just talking about the company or something like that. So, yeah, kind of nervous, but like you said, just talk story, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. So, Alan, we met because I called for Spectrum,
Yeah.
and then you came out, and then obviously we just started talking stories.
Yeah. I get the
Yeah.
gift of gab too. This.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
get the gift of gab, bro. One of my friends bought me one sticker that says "Masta Yapa."
No, bro. I don't think I need that sticker.
Get one for you. But tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know there's a lot that we've talked about,
Yeah.
just between our phone calls and stuff like that. But start me off with a little bit of how you grew up and where you from.
Basically from the west side of Oahu. But actually, when I was born, I think I learned the first 2 months. My parents is actually from Kali, so KPT actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You
the
grew up
first.
you grew up in
Not that I
KPT?
could remember, but yeah, my mom did. My
Oh.
mom grew up in KPT, and that was the first place I landed. 2 months, and then
When you said that's the first place you landed, what do you mean?
so basically, when I came out of the hospital, my mom was still living,
Okay, got you.
at KPT, and then my parents got married. My dad joined the Air Force, so we moved to Sacramento actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So my first year or two, don't really remember again.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I think I got like one memory. But anyways, yep, grew up Sacramento, and then my dad is a military police officer. Got busted selling drugs to the officers and the other enlisted members. So yeah,
What branch?
Air Force.
Air Force. Air
Yeah,
Force.
really intelligent guy, but not too akamai on the decision sometimes. So, anyways, he had to go to the brig.
What is this? Like the 80s?
80s,
Yeah,
yeah. I was
80s.
born in 1985, so
Oh, moving. Well, you're selling weed.
I never asked
Yeah,
that part. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
probably that was a thing back
Probably
then,
making good money, huh?
And then, anyways, he went to the brig. We came back home, stayed with our grandparents in Waiʻanae. So it's pretty much where my roots started after that. But my brother was born in Sacramento,
Okay.
so he was born in Sacramento, but we both came back Waiʻanae Uluve. So that's where I grew up most of my life. Yeah.
So
So
we live right here across from Waiʻanae High School.
yeah. So my grandpa bought his first home, those duplex homes,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first street right
Yeah.
across.
They're like right now they're around like 190 to 250. The
Wow.
prices are dropping. It's like starter homes.
I don't know. That's always
Over
like,
there.
I always to wonder, like watching like celebrities buy their old home and fix them up,
Oh,
and then I
yeah,
had kind of
yeah.
an epiphany. I was like, bro, I told my wife, I like buy my original home that I grew up in and fix that thing up and make them chair, and I don't like live there, but
Yeah.
just because I feel so proud of it. Like that's what like built me to be the person I am today. But yeah, I basically lived there most of my life, so all my schools is right around me.
Right.
I could walk to all of them. Kamaili, walk to Waiʻanae
Oh,
Intermediate.
you ain't Kamaile?
Yeah, I was like,
Kamaile,
I think I was
Waiʻanae.
like 5 years old at the time.
Okay.
It was a really new school.
Yeah.
So it was really amazing though, like just the teachers, the people. But yeah, I was pretty much grew up over there, and then went to Waiʻanae Intermediate, Waiʻanae High School. But just yeah, you know how it is, right? The West Side story of
Yeah.
both parents, just struggling with demons. And
Yeah.
yeah, my dad was kind of like a crazy mad person in Waiʻanae, and I had all these people in my house that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like that was really like dangerous or bad people. That was just my dad's friends. They play
Yeah.
darts all night, and I think that's kind of why like I'm a deep sleeper. I guess I have to learn to be,
Okay.
because all night you just hear this darts just whacking the dartboard, pop, pop, again and again. I'm like, and you're trying to sleep, and this thing is because they're on drugs. It's happening all night long. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I get up for school, tired, blah blah blah. So, but yeah, I mean, I love being, and I'm proud to say I'm from Waiʻanae.
Yeah.
When people ask me like, oh yeah. Only to the point where my wife said, "Oh, you lived in Kapolei longer than you lived in Waiʻanae, so you cannot say you're from Waiʻanae anymore. You gotta say you're from Kapolei. You can say you were raised in Waiʻanae." So I always say that, but I always slip and say, "Oh yeah, I'm from Waiʻanae."
Yeah.
Oh, you live there? What part of Waiʻanae? Oh, sorry, my family still lives there. I live,
Yeah.
Makakilo now, but yeah, that's where my heart is. It's just that traffic. Like we need a solution for that. Like all these this past week, it's been nuts. You know what I mean? I'm like, I feel so bad for all my family and my friends that live on that side. I'm like, shucks, this is like. Then now with this landfill thing, that's
Oh yeah.
wild.
Did you go to the meeting last night?
I should, but I work, yeah. So I worked till
Okay.
like 8 something last night.
Yeah.
So I got to take off though. That's what my wife was just talking about. She's like, hey, we need to attend that thing because, but I think it's going to be kind of like the Mauna thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Like, I think
it's raised a lot of concern.
I think that was good training,
Oh yeah,
for the
for our
Kanaka
cause.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, this and that. But man, it taught them a skill,
Yeah. Yeah.
to
No, for sure.
peacefully protest. And you know what I mean? Like that was wild, that was a win, I feel. But I think the government lost in a way when I think about that situation, The first time they climbed the mountain too high, it was too cold. They outlast them. But
Yeah.
that second time they went lower and bro, they could stay there for days, even months. So I really hope, like I feel like we always getting shafted, being from Waiʻanae and
Yeah.
less opportunities.
That happens.
But yeah, just sharing my story with you. But basically, yeah, the Westside story of two parents struggling with things. But I'm like proud to say that I'm super proud of my parents now.
Yeah.
Both Christian followers, and they don't even touch drugs for like the last 20 years. So
That's awesome.
it's man, I just when you have nightmares, that's one of my nightmares is like getting up. Oh yeah, my mom or dad relapse, but nah, it's not even a thing though. But it's just like, ooh,
How did that childhood affect you after high school? Did it affect you, or was it?
I guess I had like,
because you're the oldest, right?
yes,
You're the oldest of the kids. How many kids?
I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Yeah,
So total of 5 of you guys.
Yep.
So 3 boys, 2
but
girls.
the last brother came in really late, so I was already out of the house. So, but pretty much getting back to that. So, growing up as the oldest, you're naturally a leader. For the most part, even though you choose to be or not.
Right.
But my parents would be, not well, I would say. That's what we used to call it. Because I would find myself taking care of them, feeding them, making sure there was, even to this day, like, if I have, then I try, give, oh, you need money, sister, brother,
Yeah.
just, it's just a natural thing that's, I don't know if it's to be being the oldest or what it is, or just maybe
Being
growing
a
up in Waiʻanae.
provider. Just being a provider,
So, I mean, I'm really fortunate to be the oldest, I guess, I love taking that role. And I think it helped me with my family life too, like leading your family. But I was already kind of leading my family as a child,
Yeah.
So
So you had to grow up fast.
exactly, to put it in words, but kind of brings back. I guess I was really good at compartmentalizing a lot of this stuff. So sometimes I kind of get emotional and I think about it,
Yeah.
So I don't like to really think about it, but this show is making me bring it out. But my brother was actually like an angry person. He's 2 years younger than me. And I didn't realize, like, shucks, he fought every day. Like, the principal would walk this brother home. Like, not every day, but like at least once a week. Like, to his house, like, go home. And I'm like, just laughing in my head. But before, I used to, like, wonder, why is this guy so angry?
Mm-hmm.
But then, because of what was going on in the home,
Yeah.
that was his way of dealing with it. He couldn't put it away. Like me, I was good at that. His thing was fighting, so shucks, everybody his age group know him. You know what I mean? You say his name, oh, Adrian Valdez or Mono Boy, like, right, he's on terror, inside. And he wasn't even trained. So the guys he was fighting was
grew up on the
boxers. Yeah, he self-taught himself, but then, became extra dangerous when he
Westside
intermediate.
banger.
Oh, bro, he went boxing,
Shout out to Adrian.
Yes, but yeah, so I think that was, growing up, and it's respect. That's why we started, changing our brand name and stuff, because I was thinking like, oh, where have our days, right? We played outside, your aunties, your uncles, like that was your neighbors, but you know what I mean? You called them auntie, uncle. They even gave you some slaps, lickings here and there if you was out of pocket.
Yeah.
But your parents wouldn't say anything because they knew that, you must have been doing something.
Stupid, yeah.
So you could say, oh, auntie, get it. Like, Debbie, so what you did wrong. You know what I mean? So, like, I think the generations change, a lot of, it's called helicopter parenting. I learned from my last church service.
Parenting.
Yeah. So as soon as your kid get in trouble, so I'm not saying all the parents, we never raise our kids like that.
Yeah.
But they swoop in, boom, extract their kid. Oh, why you yelling at my kid? This and that. So I think a lot of the respect factors, went away because then these kids think, oh,
They can get away with stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
So I think we need to get back to our roots, revive respect, That's what I think. That's why we shifting this whole brand change is because that right there. Like me and my wife think about when we grew up. She
Yeah.
grew up in Wahiwa, but same exact thing. You know what I mean? So I kind of relate to other places
You
because
know, Waiʻanae is Waiʻanae Uka, right?
exactly
She's
that's
from
that's what she
Waiʻanae
just
too.
was saying. I only live in the Waiʻanae of the Central. Milani was a rich place, so.
Yeah,
Um, and then I meet people from Wailoa. My in-laws from Wailoa. My brother-in-law's in-laws.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, but you guys just like the Waianae of North Shore,
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I get coworkers from
That's
them.
how I
Like, bro,
feel.
we can relate. And then 94 block,
Waiʻanae, North Shore.
or even the Evo Beach people, like, but we all the same. So, growing up older, I'm like, dang, it's like I was kind of in a, thinking that Waianae was the toughest place, and then I met other people like, oh, cause this whole island is surrounded with warriors, like. Oh man, see warriors everywhere. Like, but that's good. But I think we talked about that last time offline on the phone.
Yeah.
Is that it's in our DNA? That's why we
Yes,
right?
yes.
So yeah.
They call it epigenetics, I believe.
I just wonder, like, every time, like, but I've been working on myself, and my brother has too, so that's good. He's like a way mellow person though. But shout out to Papa Fred. He got his day, but he
Papa
kind of
Fred is your dad.
no. The boxing coach that
boxing.
he passed away. So he basically they gave one state day to him.
Oh.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like he made the golden.
Does your brother train now?
No, he lives in Big Island. Yeah, by Volcano, but man, he loves it over there, being in the forest.
Bro, Volcano is a beautiful place.
Yeah, so he asked me like a couple of years ago. He said, "Oh, you want to half with me on some 4 acres?" So that's where I'm thinking, like, when I seen your episode with the Red Brother Daniel, like I put olu trees on the land, You're planting guava, get avocado, but it rains every day, so you don't even need to water.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so that's what I want to like put some food. Like I think that's good to have olu trees. And the funny part is that house in Luluve, my neighbors are Samoan, right? And
I thought ulu was like Samoan.
I thought it was too because they had a huge ulu tree. I don't know what the hell the thing was, but somebody, my auntie told me, "Oh, it's an ulu tree." The thing would fall in our yard. I'll get so irritated. I was like flying over the fence. I think, frick, the hell, I freaking gotta clean, rake this yard up, and pick up all these damn ulus. Not knowing,
So get ulu trees in Uluvehi.
Well, I don't know if still get them, but
I wonder if that's how it was named, Uluvehi.
That's wild.
You know what I mean?
And then not once I thought, I was gonna marry a Samoan lady, and my wife is Afakasi, and I'm like, I tried the ulu for the first time. I'm like,
Afakasi is a race, or is it?
I don't know the actual term.
It's a sect of Samoans.
But I don't know if it's like their word of saying hapo. I gotta go ask my Samoan in-laws, but I don't know if it means half Caucasian, half Samoan, or it just means half of anything.
Got it. Yeah, like hapa.
But basically, I used to, my Spectrum customers, I tell them, hey, my wife is Samoan. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, can I see the picture? So I'm like, show them the picture. And they're like blown away, like how beautiful she is. And they're like, oh, bro, I thought you meant one from the motherlands. So then I said, but she's off of us. I said, okay. So moving forward, every time I tell a customer, I make sure I say that, hey, yeah, I married my wife. She Alpha Kasi. And like, oh, okay. So when I show them the picture, I'm super proud, I'm super proud of my kids and my family. But
yeah. So what street you grew up on? Like, let's see if the first tree still
the first street right there, right across the baseball field, Alakal.
Okay.
Yeah, closest to the high school and the first rate.
Alakal is
the street. And then it's a Unit C on the left. So I don't know the number, but
yeah, no, I just like go see get ulu trees over there. Gonna ask you.
But the house right there on the first house on the corner, that house, because this is a duplex, right? So we lived on the left
you
side.
Make the right from
Farrington, yep. And then right off of there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's the second house on the left, but the one with the ulu tree is the first house on the left.
I wonder if the ulu tree still there.
But I think it was huge. Like not as big as that, but it was pretty big. Like it was massive. But I don't know because you in Chowder.
Yeah, true.
But I don't know if they chopped it down. But that thing is awesome for food. Like I'm glad they're starting to plant all of that on the state highways and stuff. You
ever had ulu patiyai?
No, and I heard about it, but never did.
They bring you some.
Yeah, so. But yeah, I mean, shucks. What else? But yeah, basically my cousin them used to always like come up to me and say, hey, you're an old man. Like I always felt like I was an old soul,
Yeah.
Even as like a teenager. But I think because like you mentioned before, like growing up fast and like, oh man, like always watching over everybody, even my older cousins, because they would be doing like reckless stuff, and I'd be like, oh, that's not a good idea. But I'm not saying like I'm innocent and
Right.
never do stupid things my own self. But basically, yeah, my dad was.
You kind of was just like your role in your family was kind of um like a not like an overseer, but you just was like you took care.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You took care. You know, everybody always has their roles in growing up and stuff like that. You know.
I think same as so in the family too, like your own personal family, like realizing that you need to be a leader as a father, and protector.
Yeah, protector.
Um,
I think that's just men in
yes,
general. You
provider.
know,
But
like,
you see men, that don't even take care of the kids. You know what I mean? But to me,
would you
that's
consider that a man then?
no, honestly, because it was hard for me. I was 18 years old, so that gives you no excuse, right? Like, I started like, well, actually, I just turned 19. I'd say 18, but um, I was 19. I just made 19, and my daughter came out. So my birthday is December, January, boom, kid. So
Oh,
just
wow.
made 19, boom, kid. So I'm like, just that fear of, can I do it, right?
Right.
I can barely take care of myself.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the first thing that pops into your head when you know you're gonna be a father. It's like,
I can't
oh,
even take care of myself.
right? Like, oh, I can provide for myself now. I gotta just raise this human being. But man, I gotta say, like, I've been the highest highs in my career, at Spectrum, and lowest of lows. But watching my kid just graduate high school, that achievement she made was beat all of that stuff. So that kind of makes me feel sad for all those, people that not stepping up to the plate, to be a father, because the kids grow old. Like, dang, I remember my 21-year-old as still that 6 month, 9 month, cute kid running around. So man, they grow fast. Yeah, getting back to high school, like growing up Section 8, welfare, that was the West Side story, basically. But,
Yeah.
dad was selling drugs still. He came out, actually, so he came out of the break, right? Came home. His brother owned a pizzeria, Hawaii Convention Center.
Yeah.
Get the 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
right? On that
Yeah.
corner, right across the street.
Okay.
So right next to that, my uncle had a pizzeria, my dad's brother. So made his brother the manager, Okay, take care of you. But anyways, only lasted for like a year, but he hired all his high school friends. My auntie worked for him, delivered pizzas. Bro, that was a good childhood memory, That was kind of like the good times before it got really dark, I would say. Like I get memories of making pizzas, like,
Oh,
the
really?
dough. Yeah, it was crazy. Like
What was the name of the pizzeria?
that part, Pantillos.
Pantillos.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know, but then it sparked in my head. But still, yeah, like you get the recipe for the dough. But he lives in Vegas now,
Okay.
It's like most of Hawaii people getting priced out of paradise, But yeah. So then after that, he ended up selling, ice, right? And that was the boom, right? Inside the early 90s, 80s, right? It was like the thing.
I think it still is the thing, bro.
I don't know. It's just, yeah. So he did that. He wasn't a user at the time. So, oh man, at one point, like he had all these people's cars in front, like they had to owe money, He had like 6 cars, like nice cars. Talk about like Ferraris. Well, maybe it wasn't the new one,
Ferrari.
but yeah, I remember. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, and then shortly after, he started, getting higher in your own supply, right? They say. So that's where the life, But to me, that's kind of karma in a way.
That was in high school or more?
No,
after
this is we talking about like second, third grade, yeah.
Okay.
So then now, now mom started using,
Yeah.
So then just fighting, right? So you're fighting over the drugs, right? You selling when everything is good and you making money, everything is good, right? But then times is hard. Now you still like get high, right? So that's when people start doing crazy things, Good thing they didn't like kill people, rob people. Well, not that I know of.
Yeah,
that they rob people. I know they didn't kill anybody, but
Yeah.
like just the extreme of like breaking into houses to get your fix, But just
That's real.
just a terrible life of just. And I used to wonder like, we always had to move. Like every year almost we had to move until we kind of got that Olive steady. But made sense, being a landlord now. It's like, oh shucks, you see people that are doing sketchy stuff, you can lose your house, or they're not taking care of your house. You got to get them out.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand as a child. Like, wow, that's why I hate moving. I moved, I think about 10 times. I counted. Boom, boom.
Just
here
growing
to,
up like
yeah, Maili, Waiʻanae, back to Maili, Olave, Nanakuli. So that's hard life, But I think that's what builds strong people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I'm the strongest guy or anything like that, but I think it builds something in me, Like the hustle, the workflow, and the resilience,
Yeah.
of just people saying. I used to wonder, like, my auntie used to come to me, oh, my auntie, wow, boy, like, I'm so proud of you. Like, I didn't think, like, I don't understand, like, wow, like, I knew I was gonna make it,
Right.
And one of the stories that, like, I think it was my last day of high school, and you'd see you only has certain people with cars, right, in the Waiʻanae High School, and they would have like nice race car. Either they was working or most of the time the dad was chicken fighter or slanging,
Yeah.
Gold chain, nice freaking Acura Integra. That was a car back in the day. I was like, oh man,
What
like
year?
you just
What year of the Acura Integra?
so like 90, 96, 97, but we were like 2003 grads.
Right,
So,
yeah.
that was only a few years old at the time.
It's like driving one 2003 Honda Civic.
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
In 2010.
I heard that's a collectible car now,
Yeah.
So, but anyways, yeah, I told myself, bro, I'm not gonna ever catch the bus again. The city bus. I made that promise to myself. Loa, I tell you. I told myself, hey, my last bus ride, I promise, the last day before I graduated, right?
I still get you that bus, dog.
Nah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know.
But that's one promise that I made to myself,
Right,
so I was on the bus looking out the window, and the crazy stuff you see on Honolulu city buses, right? Guys going mental, just, just going crazy, and you thinking, oh, bro, like, this cannot be life. And I think I kept that promise, and I just laughed to myself, like, dang, like, I'll try everything possible. And I don't beat up car, And I think when you grow up really poor and you try to give your kids everything, and sometimes don't make that mistake. That's what I did. But you kind of end up building like weaker kids without resilience. You know what I mean? My kids is very good kids, but then I don't know if they have the same.
Yeah, drive.
You know what I mean? The want, the drive, and stuff like I do. Like this car right here, oh, shucks, it's a couple years old. This car, I bought it for her. She turned 18. Here you go, baby. But she never asked for anything, But she washed the car 2 times. Look how nice the paint job. I scratch your head like, bro, my first car was Prima. It was $1,000. I think, yeah, man, bro, what the heck? Like, and I tell her, oh, baby, gotta wash your car. Oh, okay, dad. She don't wash them. And I'm thinking, bro, you had such a nice paint job, a nice car bought you, But it's all good. As long as I get respect for kids.
Yeah.
That's the most important part. Is that, my kids is a little bit lazy. Now she work, it's us. That's awesome. But the main thing is respect, I think that's what
Hawaiian values is really what you're talking about. Is
Yes.
reinstilling the values of our ancestors and where we come from.
That's a core value, I believe. You know what I mean? Because that affects everything. Integrity, right? Being pono, mālama, the aina. So respecting the aina. Bro, I was taught, you go to the beach, make them nicer than when you left.
Yeah.
You see rubbish, I just picking them up.
Yeah.
I think I went Bank of Hawaii the other week. Going cashing my check. Yeah, pull up, reversing. I look, I get all of these fast food rubbish on the ground, scattered everywhere in the stall. I think, oh, it's so pilao. I look at that mother, shaking my head. Like, that's wild. You and go over here, because I know it's late at night, right? This was a Saturday morning. So like, oh, you and party, and then I wasn't even from that area. This is, Bank of Hawaii by Target.
Yeah.
So no fast food place over there. So you went over here, eat, leave all your rubbish on the ground, and your polo, and just left like, whatever's.
Yeah, it's not that hard, bro. Get trash cans.
Everywhere. So I should pick them up nice, take them in the bank, throw them away. But that's just little stuff like that we got to build our culture back, I think, our identity of, like some stuff that happened. But I think the disasters that just happened kind of made me feel good again about our people,
Yeah.
Them just helping each other out, cleaning up the beach.
You never have to wait for the city or the
That's
state.
wild. And I love that part about that rig. We did everything. Oh, I was like, I got chicken skin, you know? The guy you could feel the raw emotion right there in that moment. Because you could cut that thing out on,
What is that? What, the meeting?
That meeting, that Belanger already showed up to.
Oh.
Yeah, I never vote for that guy. Because I already seen his personality when he used to run the news. So he was kind of looked like a bully. Like, oh, if they tell you, build a telescope up on the mountain, then you listen to them. That's what the court said. I was like, this guy, hell.
That's what he said?
That's what he said. So after that, I said, nah. And I'll boycott that whole news station. News 9 or whatever, Channel 7. I was like, you know what? This is your guys.
That's Hawaii News now, right?
Yeah. If this is your leader, but then he left, so now I watch him again. But I was thinking like, wow, this, because he had the segments at the end of the show. He would just have a little talking section. It would be like 30 seconds.
I never remember.
Yep. But he would give him a piece of his mind. So, it would be okay. But that one time when he gave that about the telescope, so like,
I like find that video.
It's there. I remember seeing it because that's what turned me off on that guy.
The guy, favela.
Yeah.
He was they were just down at the Honolulu Hale,
Oh,
and because they were just trashing him because he lying up. He said he wasn't no new landfills on the west side.
I thought he was just boycotting the whole thing. I said, no.
I don't know. These
He,
guys, they two faced. They
mm,
two faced. It's election year too, by the way. You know
that's
what I mean?
you know,
So everybody gonna say the right stuff.
that's what I used to notice. We used to be in the union, right?
Yeah.
And we left the union, but bro, that's what the thing was. You would only see them on campaigning time. They'd come to the shop. Hey, how you? Like bring you donuts, malasal. Like, where were you the last 3 years? You know what I mean? Where's our raises? We just lost more and more stuff. So, you know, I was like, yep, that's probably like all the rest of the politicians waving signs. But I kind of like the guy Brenton Awado.
Yeah, he
That
seems pretty
you
cool.
know, he seemed like a cool bro. But I heard they're trying to build the Macau Resort, right? Rezone them
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
they're gonna try, but not gonna work out because I mean, there's so much opposition. I mean, unless they get community members to buy in or they bribe some people or whatever, then it's gonna work. But everything gets killed out in the Waiʻanae for the most part. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a politician. I've been learning how politicians work. I like learn their game so I can put on stop to their game.
Mm.
You know.
I learned something, but I don't like say the guy's name. So one of my friends was good friends with this guy. Now he doesn't represent this side,
Yeah.
but he basically like I don't know if took bribes or what have you, but did favors.
Yeah.
Not in, and he's on Hawaiian bro. Though. Like he on Hawaiian name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said I gotta play the game so I can do a bigger impact. Because if you don't play the game with these guys that's in there and been in there for a while, they find a way to get you out.
Yeah.
So I found that really interesting. Like, wow, so you get really good brothers with integrity that gotta do a little bit of shady stuff to bend a little to try and attack the bigger things, you know?
Yeah. I think that's tactful. Um, just gotta be careful. I mean, I think it's just depending on what you're trying to achieve. You know, there's always goals and intentions.
Yeah, but I think like I said, I'm proud to be from the west side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get the might be biased, but I always tell people get the beautifulest beaches.
Yeah,
Oh, I tell you a quick story. So my friend, right? He grew up Hawaii Kai.
Oh, Kaiser boy.
But I told him, oh, so you rich? Yeah. He told me, no, I grew up Hawaii Kai back on his pig farm. So I said, okay. Because he's like my parents' age.
Okay.
Talk about late 50s.
And still had pig farm.
One of my best friends, okay? Met this guy later on in life. We tried kids soccer. He told me, I told him, we'll go surfing, right? He switched to bodyboarding. I'm a bodyboarder, as you can tell. Okay, we'll go west side. Oh, I never been there. I'm like, what? You 50 something years old? I said, bro, we get the best waves. Well, I'm kind of biased because it's the least amount of crowd. And yeah, it's not as freaking bad, good as the North Shore, but bro, the thing is on Killer Wave, get plenty spots with it's empty.
Yeah.
Take him down there. He's like kind of nervous. Yeah, I'm like,
Where you
okay.
guys at?
Yokohama's.
Oh,
And we talking about second dip, summertime.
Yeah.
Thing is about
Fire.
4 to 6, just firing like crazy. And he comes out there and he's like having the time of his life. And we're looking at him and he just started bodyboarding. You know, he's a surfer, but he get bad hip now. But he still to catch waves. So I'm watching him. He going over the falls because he don't know how far, control the thing out. Like, anyways, he had the time of his life. I take him to a low poke. We eating the heart of Waiʻanae, all right?
Oh, this was recently.
Yeah, this past summer.
Okay.
And then I said, so what? What do you think about my town? I'm telling you this because my daughter graduated high school a few years ago.
Where your daughter went?
What? Couple high school.
Couple.
So I invited like 3 of my close friends. Oh, come to my grandma's house, Series 7 on the coolie,
Right.
And that shout out to that place. That's actually what, built me to the person I am. I should talk about that after this.
Definitely.
But he stayed over there, and then none of them came. To my 2 friends, one from Cully, one's like, oh, bro. And one of them is a police officer. He said, I'm not going to pass the power plant. He told me, okay.
How come?
But they're afraid,
I'm not going to pass the power plant.
They're afraid. And then anyways, he said, bro, this is one, like he's just tripping out. He looking at the host. I said, look, everybody just chilling. Wow, this place is awesome. That's what he said. And that was just, I said, look, my people is good, right? He said, yeah. I said, there's a few bad apples here and there, but my wife is a teacher in the West Side. And I said, oh, honey, you sure you like teach over there? And I'm just so happy that, the people of the West Side get one passionate teacher that love teaching kids,
Oh, your wife is a teacher?
Yeah, at Maili Kindergarten.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she's in the community helping build the next generation, you know.
Yeah.
She said, oh, I like teach that grades. I said, oh, how come, honey? She's like, oh, because I can still mold the kids to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
good people. So I said, all right on. I said, oh, after second, third grade, you know, they kind of stuck in their ways and this and that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. I mean, you still get chance.
90% of our brain is hardwired by the time we're 6.
So like, you know, I'm just happy and fortunate that, you know, they have a good teacher. But anyways, my friend, right, they get the winter swells coming. Oh, where you go? Brought a like go third dips. And I can still get scarring back. I got slammed. Like, I was like, oh, he just loves it, you know? He's like, I'm not going to tell anybody about this because he said he didn't go because they have a reputation of, you know, they don't want you over here. Like, they're going to beat you up if you come to their beach. And he said, I want to keep it that way because I want the beaches to stay empty.
Yeah,
so kind of selfishly, but
it's a natural shield, you know, to keep people out.
But when he came, he was like, wow, this is good. But I'm not going to tell my friends about it, you know. But, you know.
That's respect.
Let me know. But anyways, yeah, getting back to that is that I think what grown me a lot was my grandparents. And my parents were, you know, messed up and had the illness of doing drugs and stuff. Like, they helped raise me, my aunties, like, you know, mom's siblings and my uncles and my grandparents. And that's why, like, my grandpa always tell him, he's 82 now. Like, oh, Papa, you're my hero. So he got his homestead in 94. Okay. So that was his house in Oʻahu. So that's how we moved there. Because he got his homestead and he was so happy. He's still building on the thing, 82 years old.
So he bought...
Oh, you came to our house, right?
Yeah, I came to our house, yeah.
But they just super...
so they had Uluvehi, then he got Series 7, and then you guys stayed there, and then...
Yeah, so he rented that to us, and then Grandpa had his, you know, homestead, and...
You guys still own that property? Does Grandpa still own that property?
And that's what I think, like, offer him, like, hey, let me buy it, you know what I mean?
Buy it from you.
I fix them up, but
is maybe it later. Right now?
No, my uncle lives there. Uncle. But basically, man, I slept on my grandparents' floor. Like, that's part of the stuff that I say in my Instagram channel, you know?
That was the floor after high school?
No, that was in high school. Yeah. So like our parents would drop us off sometimes. Oh, be back later tonight or tomorrow. A couple of days would pass, a couple months, sometimes a year. Yeah, a year.
Parents
gone, no more.
Holy
yeah. God. So, but again, we had. I don't know. I always like to say I had a hard life because I always feel get somebody that get it worse than you. You know what I mean? Right, you heard that term before, yeah. Yes. So I can say one thing, like I was never.
Yeah, but your experience is your experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So.
And I think like everything is tailored for you to be a stronger person, you know, and how you deal with it to build. I was texting about that last night, right?
Yeah.
But I just believe every hardship is a challenge, you know. But yeah, like my friends would come over like, hey, oh, where's your room? Where's your room? Like I look at it like, oh, right here, like on my own room, you know, this is my room right now. Like, wow. That's kind of crazy, but I'm like, I wasn't ashamed of it, you know. It is what it is. Like that's life right there. But I think it, you know, builds you to the person that you are today, you know. But then we had our kids, and my wife was fortunate that my job provided enough that she could stay home and raise her kids, you know. We kind of did the math, and I was like, oh shucks.
When you started at Spectrum?
Like 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
So that was the when I was able to save the money to buy our first place. You know, I used to live right over here on a little bit more down the road, Poly Hill. Yeah. So my mom, I gotta tell this story. At 18 years old, me and my stepdad wasn't getting along. I love the guy to death, super awesome guy, but he was still battling his demons. My mom was recovering. So I was afraid, right? I was like, dang, like, shucks, I don't like a relapse, you know? So I told her, oh, bro, this guy is, you know, doing drugs, cutting grass at 9 at night. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, this guy gotta go. And she said, boy, I was already 18. I'm an adult. I remember this conversation very clearly. She says, oh, I never say that. She did. I am an adult and you're an adult. And this is what I choose. I choose him. You gotta find your own place. And my wife is pregnant. So I'm thinking, what the heck? You know, what the heck am I gonna do? But shucks, by the good graces of God, like shucks, we applied on the last day for this affordable that they just built on Poly Hill.
Right.
And on the last day, Lord, I couldn't even make this up. I cannot tell you how much times that God came through for us. We got accepted. We have no credit. The people was in front of us in the list, right? They're like, oh, but we get leases that we gotta stay. They say, oh, you guys in? $700, 2-bedroom, brand new. It's like on a hotel. Like
this is 15 years ago.
No, this is 2005.
Okay, yeah, he was 18, 19.
my daughter was just born. So she lived 2 weeks in Waiʻanae, and then we moved her up here in Makakilo. But my in-laws is from Makakilo, so I didn't even know about this place growing up, you know?
Makakilo, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to drive underneath the bridge all the time, and I think like, oh, not even look to the mountain, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then one time we was trying to go to church, and I freaking, well, the only one time, we never grew up in church. That was a bad person, like I said. Now he's a Jesus follower, but
Yeah.
we broke down. Well, I cannot make this up. And this before cell phones, so I had to walk to the call box. So he looks up at the sign. He said, "Remember that name. Tell grandma and we stay underneath Makakilo Drive." And not knowing that my future wife, my dream house was all gonna be in Makakilo. Like, bro, that's all. I was on full circle moment for me. I'm like, what the heck? Like, you know, I'm like fourth, fifth grade, and this is burned in my head, right? Because I had to walk like 2 miles to the call box.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow, I remember that. Like, man, that's wild. But so much challenges, you know? And I think my wife was trying to go to college, right? Every time the kids is going to school, had another one every 3 years. And then my youngest daughter gets cancer. So, you know, life, we just got our house. You know, we bought our first place. We all on the level 10. But again, God showed up again and said, wait a minute, I'm in charge. And this is how I look at things, that bad things that happen to me.
Yeah.
I never do look at it like, well, I kind of did say, why me? I'll be a liar if I did say that, not say that.
Yeah.
But again, you know, like, I was like, wow, okay, this is a challenge. How are we going to find the solution? So I think me and you talked about this before a long time ago, but we got to stop being the victim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's easy to.
This is the problem. What is the solution? You know what I mean? And that's why, like, I think I talked to you about it. Like, hey, frick, I gotta play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we gotta play the game. Forget proper, because I'm not enough gonna wine. My grandpa get homestead, but my mom would marry one Chinese, Filipino, Spanish guy.
Yeah.
So water down the bloodline, you know. But it's all good.
It's all good.
I gotta build my own.
As long as you
Because I like keep my kids here.
1% to 100%, you can aka.
Exactly.
DHL, just because you know 50% don't mean shit.
But
just letting you know that.
Yes, sir. But that's what I mean, though, right? Like, we gotta play the game,
Right.
and we need solutions. We need them to push this list through. You know, my stepdad's still on the list.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? He says, "Oh, you think I should take the payout?" I said, "How much is it? Is it $500,000? $100,000? You can't even buy one parking spot for $100,000 in a wall. Make sure you get your homestead.
Yeah.
Because that right there is owed to you, to all of us, I believe.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you know, 50%, 25%, I don't know. But it's all good. As is life, Phil.
Yeah.
But again, I think that situation with my kid, you know, beating cancer, but that was a very stressful time, you know. It either makes or breaks your family or your marriage.
Yeah.
And it made us stronger, you know, and just fortunate to have
How'd you navigate that?
my wife, to be honest with you. She's
Okay.
kind of like the backbone, I would say. I'm like the provider, but she's like the one that takes care of the home, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that's really important, is to have a really strong partner in life to build something, you know what I mean? I think that is like your best friend. And
How'd you guys meet, by the way? What's your wife's name?
Nikita.
Nikita.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet?
That's a crazy story.
She made the move or you made the move?
No, it was, I met her in summer school.
Oh, okay.
Before I started. Like, why not? I was gonna go because I was trying to go to college and turn my life around. But why not never have? There's
You still turned your life around.
yeah,
by the
there
way.
was redoing the school. You know what I mean? Redoing the school.
Renovations.
So yeah, okay, boom. Then, you know, why not Nanakuli people at the time, high school? You cannot. They're not like each other. Now it's all G, but we old already. But back then you couldn't. It's guaranteed you scrapping every day. So the next option was Kapolei. So I was like, okay, I can go. So I went. I was living in Honokai at the time. Again, we got kicked out, had to move. So I was like, close. Went there, and I looking around the class, you know, I was single, like, oh, who's kind of looking around? Oh, no more nobody. So I get my head down. I promise. I tell her a story all the time. We head down. Oh, I just see a lady walk past. Cakes. But I put my head up. Yeah, she turned around, and she had the most beautiful angel face on top of that. I was like, I was in love right there. They always say that, love at first sight, man.
Yeah.
That is, you know, but just an awesome person that grew up in the church.
Yeah.
So she is the one that saved my life. I got to say that.
Right.
Because I was headed down the same path as my dad, and I do keyboard, right?
Right.
I work Westside, you know, that's how I met you sometimes.
Yeah.
And I see some of my friends, they coming out of prison. Hey, bro, I just got out. Da, 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 da. I think I would have been right there too.
Most likely.
If I didn't meet my wife that said, seeing the way I was living my life, I was making money, and she was like, hey, bro, you cannot do that. You gotta, you come to church with me, you know? So she took me, introduced me, and I'm like, yeah. To me, if you always say this saying, if you cannot sleep at night from what you're doing during the day, then you shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good.
But you know what I'm saying? If it does,
guideline.
if you cannot sleep, if you can sleep at night, hey, by all means, like whatever's, I guess. But if it doesn't make you sleep at night, then it must be something wrong.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, change my ways, and you know, got a legitimate job, and then I had my kid. So then, you know, started like, oh, I gotta take care of my family. Like I gotta, you know, live on the straight and narrow, and it was hard. Like I also was on
So
welfare.
this kind of like time, how old you was when you started thinking like this?
Oh shucks, this is like 17, 18 years old. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like I said, the 18, right?
Yeah.
We started getting deeper in our relationship. She's I was still the first year doing wild
And
things.
she started inviting you to church during that time
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'd say maybe like a few years in. Sorry, because her parents, you know, didn't
Well, so you
approve.
guys got pregnant already. and then
Yes.
she was
Then when I
like,
got
"Oh,
married, then I started being around the family more.
got it.
But yeah, going into church and then really shedding my old ways and trying to learn how to be a father, you know. But again, like 18 years old, I first started touching money, you know, getting the biggest speaker for my car, buying pakalolo, you know what I mean? Doing stupid things. So I would spend so much money, like waste all my money, live paycheck to paycheck. And when we got our first place, we get rent. And I'm like, dang, I'm starting to save money. And I told her, oh, we're going to buy one place. And she's like, you crazy. You're not going to buy nothing. Like, she didn't think it was possible. Then 8 years later, living in the low income and saving every dollar, we achieved it. But again, that's why I believe we need affordable houses for local people to buy, not rent. Because you don't build wealth renting. Like, you know what I mean? In 10 years to 12 years, that place has doubled in value. So that's a nest egg for me, you know, and my family and my kids. So that kind of stuff is not saved in a bank. The bank can pay you, you get 100,000 in there. Here's $40.
Yeah.
You're not going to even get $100 for that. So think about it. That $17,000, that's all I had. I put down a seed for 8 years. 17 grand on that townhouse. Boom. Freaking now the thing turned into 800,000. That's wild. You know what I mean?
Wild.
But I try to teach all my customers when I go to their house, yeah, about, you know, being responsible, because I think a lot of us, we want the gratification now, you know,
Yeah.
a chain, a truck. I like that too, but
Not saying any of those things
yeah,
are wrong.
yes. But honestly, like you want to better yourself, you need to, you know, but right now the prices is crazy. And I always tell my friends, like, Chuck, start small, you know. I'm glad I took my realtor's advice. Like, just buy this townhouse and then upgrade later. Buy something that's comfortable,
Yeah,
you know.
Start at home.
Yes, nothing wrong with that. But then you the whole thing is to stop paying rent. That's why I start teaching financial classes one day. I'm not an expert, but
You know, if you
just sharing, you know, whatever that I can. I just think that's one of my responsibilities. But one last thing though, yeah, we wanted to start highlighting on our channel, you know, our Instagram. Like that was the exciting news I wanted to give.
Yeah.
Like just good videos. Like people send it to us instead of posting negative stuff. Like, oh, this is our I need you for help me with the name, but Hawaii Hammer of the Week. Like this brother, look at him, boom, boom, boom. And then, you know, start with giving one free shirt. Maybe advance, you know, get some gift cards but my bigger dream is, shucks, I hope one day I'm making so much money where like this is the winner of the year. Here's a trip with a guest to, you know, Vegas or something, you know, like on reward for just being awesome people that in a community that representing Hawaii, right? Respect. Like we need more of that, I think. And I think we're gonna change everything inside of this state, the way the thing going right now. You know what I mean?
We will.
That's what I believe. It starts right there. So really happy with the direction that I hope this to be. Like I see it in my head, and I think manifesting is real.
When did you come up with the idea for Ho'ihi? What was it before and what is it now?
So the original name was Ikaika, which I never tell that part of the story, but
Right.
Ikaika is part of my Hawaiian name.
Right.
But because I had to be named Junior, they couldn't put it on my birth certificate. So it's the weirdest thing ever. I was that Hawaiian. I have a Hawaiian name that's not legally, but I think in my head, hey, you know what?
Wait, you couldn't have Alan Ikaika
No, because
Valdez Jr.
to be a junior, I gotta be the same exact thing because my dad wasn't Hawaiian, you know?
Oh.
That's crazy though. So I was called Ikaika my whole time, not even knowing that until, you know, you start rating your name on the official documents, like, hey, shucks, where is the ikaika go? Oh, you cannot put that, son.
What's what's your dad's ethnicities?
Spanish, Filipino, Chinese. So yeah, that was wild. But then, like back in watching the Chief of War, right? You could be, your name could change at any time. They could give you another name, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe that's what happened.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I know. I was thinking about when you named last night.
So I was thinking in Hawaiian, like that's my name. I don't care what anybody say. Yeah, it's not on my birth certificate, but so that's what it is. Ikaika, Hoi, apparel. Then my wife started helping me, like I mentioned, and she said, "Bro, your name too long, honey. And what is your direction?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, strength, respect, and we use the poeo, right? The protector." I was like, all this stuff, and she's like, "No, we gotta one strong direction. Like it's respect. What is the most important word in that whole thing?" I said, "Well, Hoi." She's like, "Yep, right there. Hawaii, respect Hawaii." I was like, "Damn, that is like." I sat back. I was like, "Wow, I think he got something there." So
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's clean.
Yeah, and then that's why we stopped making graphics for now.
Yeah.
We're just pushing our, respect. But that's why I'm excited for. I launched that thing, man. I start highlighting. So that guy, the kid Dallas, the boxer.
Yeah.
I'll repost him on my thing, and then that's what kind of my wife came with the idea. Like, it's like, wow, that's a killer idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You should partner, or not should, find people that are doing respectable things.
Well, he wouldn't reach out to me because on tag him in the stuff. So he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna do something for Christmas." So I was excited. I was like, "Yeah, hit me up." I mean, I don't know. It's still trying to get back on my feet because I dumped everything into my dream home here. But
right.
Again, I'm a gambler, investor. You know what I mean? Like I love to put myself in situations. I don't know. Maybe I just like the struggle, bro. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's what keeps you alive. I mean, like, okay, like you get all these people that reach a certain amount of success for whatever that is, and then let's just talk about financial success, buying a home and stuff like that. But you need the fight. I mean, that's a scrappy life. I mean, without something, without something to fight for, what are you gonna live for?
I gotta tell this one last story, but this saying that is super true though, right? But my saying is comfort is a killer. So when I bought my house, right, my mom's rent was 2-bedroom, Waiʻanae, right behind Pizza Hut, right? Those nice houses up there. She's like, "Boy," I said, "Ma, buy a house. Like, you should buy a house, right? Stop paying rent. $1,500, 2-bedroom." I said, "Oh, so it is a good deal, But again, when she started looking, it was the peak of COVID. The prices the houses that was going for $250, $300, now they're like $500, $600 for them. Yeah. So she's like, "Oh boy, I should have listened to you." But again, that stuck out to me, and that saying, leave you with that. Comfort is a killer. So I love challenging myself, Yeah. My wife hates me for that. But, to me, like you gotta challenge us. You need that push, because if not, then you're gonna be stagnant. Yeah. You're not gonna grow. And I love
either growing or dying.
And I love struggling because I guess I grew up. You know what I mean? But it brings out the best in me.
Muscles, bro.
Oh, bro, I think brings out the best in me. Like I'm like, okay, how am like? There's no like, oh, we're gonna crap. No, like, how are we gonna make this work?
Isn't bodybuilding, like when you're working out your muscles, the tearing of the muscle?
Yes.
And then it heals so you can become stronger, right?
That's very correct.
So in essence, right, our lives and what we choose to do, right?
Financially, spiritually, everything.
Mentally.
Yes. You need to tear that muscle to rip it, to rebuild it.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel good at the time.
And that's what I believe, right? That spiritually thing I was telling about, the hard times. Yeah. That's the spiritual tearing for you to come back. Because when I did this house, parts wasn't coming in. Things was messing up. Water got busted, leaking all over. Was crazy. But I started laughing, thinking when my daughter had cancer, this blows that situation away. I'm like, they're working 22 hours, I think, that day. Works before Spectrum, after. I stay in there like 11 at night making noise, and my neighbors just going crazy. And I think I was so tired and almost to tears, and I'm like, bro, this is nothing compared to your kid getting cancer. I was like, this is minor.
Yeah, that's good that you used other life circumstances to help you continue to push on.
But I think that's what I was very good at a young age, with my situations. I think, like, just using, this is because of this, rationalizing with myself. So.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I hope to get back to my community really soon. That's what my passion, I believe, what the second half of my life will be, is how can we, respect the people and the land and everything.
What makes you think that you're not already giving back to your community?
I don't feel like I'm that active, to be honest with you, when I reflect, Like when I see people like you, that's doing stuff in the community, that's like what I need more to be more like, So I respect that. I never do feel like, because I'm here or this, I got this and that. No, like I always feel like I can improve in different parts of my life, you know? Like I'm not as good as this person in the community,
Right.
which I need to be more stronger in, right?
Yeah.
Just want to give back to the place that made me. That's basically it.
Yeah. I think you are already though.
How you say that?
I think one, taking care of your wife because she works in the community. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, she is giving back huge, I believe. Yes.
so you're an indirect help to
I
that.
didn't realize that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Raising great children, you know, you having your parents back there. So I think also being a great success story. I think you've done a lot. I mean, maybe you have a desire to get back more into the community, which is not a bad thing, but I would say you've done a great job representing
Thank you,
Waiʻanae.
brother. I appreciate that. It's kind words.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like it though, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I feel
that's
like
fair.
I need to
You gotta
give
do
more. Yeah.
yeah, more.
I think that's what I always feel like. I need to do more, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause I just feel
That's all of us.
I feel so much weight, you know, the way that our community has shifted was about. I never tell that story too. I'm gonna have plenty of those scenes.
Yeah.
But Grand Boulevard, first row, like we would see all, I would know when I'm gonna go fight at rings, because I would see all the influx of people. Like, hey,
I've
wait,
had one fight at rings. Just
yeah.
one.
No, but you know what I'm saying now? Like, influx of people, because I know the normal people walking. Oh, they live over here. Hey, wait, we get like 50 people walking down my street. Throw my bag in the garage. I just walk in with high school kids. So I grew up watching gladiators. Like, to me, it gives me chicken skin. Like, these guys, like, when you think about it, right? This is before UFC. These guys was banging, like, big guy, small guy, big guy, big guy, small guy, small guy. Like, just throwing hands, you know?
I remember I was like 6th grade at Waiʻanae Elementary, and that's right across the street from Waiʻanae.
Yeah.
Waiʻanae Park.
Pileo Park, yeah.
I remember high school students. That's
Yeah, that was one of the spots,
They
yo.
would go meet over there. Just
Meet me at rings.
chickens,
Yeah. But again, you just see.
tons of them though, you know.
But the thing is that you would be friends after, would be respect.
yeah,
right?
and that's how it always was.
You know what I mean? Nobody mocking from this thing.
Yeah.
You come back, and if you're still unsettled, go at it again. I ran it back like 3 times with a guy. Like, I won the first one. I lost the second one, but both miles a shot. I said, bro, run them back again. That's a tiebreaker. But, hey, it's all good, brother. You know what I mean? But again, we both survived. Look, we raised families, so.
That's the reality. People don't really know that much about Waiʻanae, about those fights. Bro, always had fights.
Bro, it was killer. That's all I can say.
Even when I was in 7th, 8th grade, still. Bro.
No, but I think that's what kind of built in my mind, like, oh, freaking, we get the toughest people. But again, as I got an adult and I met, you know, my wife's brother's one of the toughest guys I ever knew. Like, he's 7 years older than me. Why you all freaking born and raised? Bro, I seen this guy like fight 300 people out on bar by himself. Well, with me, we got jumped because of him. He started it, but he's wild. Like, it's just.
When you smoke all those guys.
No, but he never, right? He was smoking guys, but I just heard stories, and I'm like, but then again, you know, meeting all the brothers, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, Pro City, they sound like, oh, cause he's some white lure, get bangers everywhere.
Hawaii get.
But again, you know, when you grew up in Waiʻanae or any place you're from, you just think, oh, hell, because you already had the reputation too.
Yeah, that's true.
But bro, like, I love that Hawaii get warriors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's killer to me.
Scrappers.
Yeah. I thank you, brother, so much for the opportunity to be able to tell my story. Probably missed a lot of stuff, but
nah, it's only the one of the first.
Yeah, they be like, "Oh, you already said that."
Yeah.
But yeah, that ring stuff, oh man, that's a killer. I always tell people like even if the small guy who get knocked out, I would be like everybody would show mad respect to him because he was holding his own. Then yeah, he got caught, but the guy was like 3 times his size. Like, oh, bro. I mean, you was on hammer. You know what I mean?
At least he gave him hot robs.
Exactly. But you wasn't supposed to win. And he's still in battle, you know? And no weapons or anything was used. It was just straight hands, you know? Or kicks or whatever they used to use. Anything, you know? But it was just fun.
Yeah.
Thanks again for having me, bro.
Of course. Right on. Thank you so much. Where can people find you?
Well,
Instagram.
We're hitting the market soon.
Okay.
Look for our tent, blue and black.
What market you guys gonna be at?
Whatever. It's probably small ones first. Hopefully made in Hawaii one day, you know.
Okay.
But we starting small just to get in the community, you know.
Yeah.
Be out there because we need to be. And then on Instagram, Ho'i Hawaii, you know.
And if somebody wants shirts, how do they?
Just message us on there. I mean, you can find all the information, our phone numbers, or you know, or DM us. We can help you with custom shirts, you know.
Yeah.
It's like pretty fast turnaround too. I wouldn't say like we're the cheapest, but we're not that high price, but we do very good work. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before I was trying to make the price come down.
Yeah, right.
But at the end of the day, like we do good work, you know what I mean?
And you want people to come with designs already, or How does that work?
Yep. So we don't design,
Okay.
but we do print whatever you have. But we do look over your design and see, if it's
Offer any kind of
if it's like blurry or something, and we just let you know, like, hey, you got to clean them up a little bit. And we try and help.
yeah.
Maybe it's my customer service from Spectrum, but I always try to go above and beyond and try and help everybody. Because some people they don't know how. They just create them on Chat GBT.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like oh shucks, you unbox around them, blah blah blah. So yeah, reach us on there.
Right on.
I just hope for the best for our community moving forward. But again, this disasters like definitely made me feel good about our state, about this island in particular. And not the state though, because Molokai got hit hard and the brothers in Maui we came over. So it's just awesome to see the community.
Yeah.
The Lahui, right?
Yeah, it is.
Just helping each
it's
other.
Up to us. It's up to us. Yeah.
That's killer. Thank you again for having us.
Right on,
Appreciate
Alan.
it, bro.
Mahalo. Thank you.